Patrick in green with a time 4170. Jason in red with a time 4362. Andrew in red with a time 2966. Mark in green with a time 2653. Larry in red with a time 3157. Chris in green with a time 2324. Aaron in red with a time 2345. Doug in green with a time 2473. Brad in red with a time 2650. Randy in green with a time 2656. Eric in red with a time 2078. Jay in green with a time 2218.
There, we can always use a flip. Get away with more guys.
Peter in red with a time 2423 and Larry in green with a time 2395. Garrett in red with a time 2181 and Brian in green with a time 2447. Andrew in green with a time 2420. Kevin in red with a time 2517. Sam in green with a time 2235. Matt in red with a time 2604. Morgan in green with a time 2614. Stratton in green with a time of 2187. Brandon in red with a time 2509. Eric in green with a time 2340. Thomas in red with a time 2800. Josh in green with a time 2178. Nick in red with a time 2173. John in red with a time 2244. Elizabeth in green with a time 2412. Jason in green with a time 2332. Kevin in red with a time 2658. Henry in green with a time 2847. Nick in red with a time 2619. James in red with a time 3005. Emily in green, time 2505. Bryson in red with a time 2189. John in red with a time 2909. Sam in green with a time 2907. Justin in red with a time 2610. Michael in green with a time 3102. Josh in green with a time 2924. Matt in red with a time 2188. Michael in green with a time 2328. Kelsey in red with a time 2379. Ryan in green with a time 2505. Colin in red with a time 2696. Michael in green with a time 2896. Justin in red with the time 2739. Annabelle in green with the time 2916. Doug in green with a time 2584. Jeff in red with a time 3343. Josh in red with a time 2637. Peter in green with a time 3248. Zach in green with a time 3020. Isaac in red with the time 2558. Jesse in green with the time 2284. Thor in green with the time 2422. Curtis in red with a time 2999. Melissa in red with a time 2723. Joanna in green with the time 4063. Matt in green with the time 2269. Adam in red with the time 2540. David in red with the time 2019. Matt D with the time 2340. Derek in green with the time 2282. Jeff in red with the time 2776. Paul in red with the time 2383. Seth in green with the time 2919. Thomas in red with the time 3427. Michael in green with the time 2515. Benjamin in red with the time 2844. Priscilla in green with the time 3:4:57. Ryan in red with the time 2:2:35. Chris in green with the time 2:1:43. Benjamin in red with the time 2:1:16. Jeffrey in green with the time 2:3:34. Graham in red with the time 2:5:30. Ross in green with the time 2:8:38. Nick in red with the time 2:9:87. Dave in green with the time 2:9:30. Mark in red with the time 2:6:57. Lori in green with the time 3:0:48. Jason in green with the time 3:9:96. Chris in red with the time 2:3:12. Aaron in green with the time 2:4:25. Doug in red with the time 2:4:56. Ryan in red with the time 2:5:72. Brad in green, the time 2:5:99. Jay in red with the time 2:1:84.
Nice skiing, kiddo. What? Nice skiing.
Eric in green with the time 2:1:29. Larry in red with the time 2:3:90. Peter in green with the time 2:5:31. Brian in red with the time 2:4:66. Garrett in green with the time 2:2:54. and red with the time 2146. We have Kevin in green with a time of 26:19, 26:19. So 25:60, 25:60. We have Nick in green with a time of 26:19, 26:19. We have Henry in orange with a time of 28:27, 28:27. We have Andrew in orange with a time of 23:66, 23:66. We have Morgan in orange with a time of 24:86, 24:86. We have Josh in green with a time of 26:64, 26:64. We have Michael in orange with a time of 28:16, 28:16. We have Justin in green with a time of 26:10, 26:10. We have Peter in orange with a time of 31:27, 31:27. We have Colin in green with a time of 26:37, 26:37. We have Michael in orange with a time of 23:12, 23:12. We have Kevin in green with a time of 27:46, 27:46. We have Joshua in orange with a time of 29:43, 29:43. We have Matthew in green with a time of 27:73, 27:73. We have Brandon in green with a time of 24:90, 24:90. We have Michael in orange with a time of 34:42, 34:42. We have Jason in orange with a time of 22:64, 22:64. We have Thomas in green with a time of 28:17, 28:17. We have Jake in orange with a time of 21:48, 21:48. We have Eric in orange with a time of 22:66, 22:66. We have John in green with a time of 23:12, 23:12. We have Elizabeth in orange with a time of 22:85, 22:85. We have Joshua in orange for the time of 22:49, 22:49. We have Emily in orange for the time of 24:73, 24:73. And we have Bryson in green for the time of 22:42, 22:42. We have Zachary in orange for the time of 28:38, 28:38. We have James in green with the time of 30:39, 30:39. We have Samuel in orange for the time of 29:02, 29:02. We have John in green with the time of 28:78, 28:78. We have Ryan in orange with the time of 27:68, 24:68, 24:68. We have Kelsey in green with a time of 24:18, 24:18. We have Annabelle in orange with a time of 29:53, 29:53. We have Doug in orange with a time of 25:35, 25:35. We have Justin in green with a time of 29:09, 29:09. We have Isaac in green with a time of 25:80, 25:80. We have Jesse in orange with a time of 22:46, 22:46. We have Thor in orange with a time of 24:29, 24:29. We have Curtis in green with a time of 30:16, 30:16. We have Melissa in green with a time of 27:94, 27:94. We have Joanna in orange with a time of 39:76, 39:76. And we have Matt in orange with a time of 22:85, 22:85. We have Paul in green with a time of 24:29, 24:29. We have Matt in orange with a time of 23:66, 23:66. We have Adam in green with a time of 25:50, 25:50. We have Derek in orange with a time of 22:77, 22:77. We have Jeff in green with a time of 27:88, 27:88. We have David in green with a time of 20:80, 20:80. We have Seth in orange with a time of 30:46, 30:46. We have Priscilla in orange with a time of 35:11.